Alright, hey everyone, this is Ash. Welcome back to The King's Speech. So we took a short break last weekend because work has been really busy and shit keeps happening in real life. And I really just need a break from all of that. It's a long weekend, we're back to it. Lots of good content coming out this weekend. So I just finished recording last week's a reaction to last week's chapter of Akane Banashi, as well as Kaiju number 8. So we're going to dive into the next couple of volumes of Yona of the Dawn here in a second. Tomorrow we're going to get to this week's chapter of Akane Banashi, as well as the new Spy Family chapter, as well as a little bit more Yona, as well as the newest volume of Lazarus, which I finally got my hold in at the library. Cannot wait to dive into that. I'm super excited to get back to it. So yeah, lots of good content coming out. So if you haven't already, please do consider commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff. There's a lot of content on my channel. I'm sure if you look through it, you'd find something you like if you haven't already. And if you do press, those buttons, commenting, subscribing, all that good stuff, it really helps me out with YouTube's algorithm, because it shows it that my videos are worth promoting. And that in turn kind of gives me the motivation to keep creating, keep making content. So yeah, just good stuff all around. Would really appreciate your support with all of that. But without further ado, let's get straight into it with Yona of the Dawn, Volume 29. So we have Chapter 164, Their Objective. So pick up where we left off last time with Ogi leading the group into what is most certainly a trap. And you heard, "Hey Ogi, whereabouts is this place?" It's like, "We shouldn't go too far." He's like, "We're almost there." And you see Yona and Yun kind of just exchanging a look. And Ogi's kind of getting all tense and anxious, looking as he has the thump. And he flashes back to, "We know you've been working with that girl. Lure them out, do it, or we'll kill you right now. Your choice." And he's like, "That's ridiculous. They're in Saika Palace. I can't just stroll in and get them." And the robed assassins go, "Come here. Do you have an ow?" As they pull up one of his goons. And he goes, "Ogi." He's like, "Kanji." He's like, "Bring us the red-haired girl and the dragon warriors by sundown. Until then, your friend stays with us." And you see that they've beaten him up a little bit. They've got a sword through his throat. And he's like, "Ogi, who are these guys?" And Ogi's like, "What are you after?" And he goes, "Bring us who we want and I'll reward you with that information. But if you try anything funny, we can take you down even from a distance." And Ogi's like, "What do they actually want? No one from the Fire Tribe want to kill Princess Yona or the dragons." He's like, "Wait, do they even belong to the Fire Tribe? It must be fucking gobies. Goons." So they don't seem like bandits. They look like mercenaries or assassins who take orders from someone else. If they're not with the Fire Tribe who worship the Crimson Dragon King, then what do they want with the princess and her friends?" And Yona's like, "What's the matter? You don't look so well." And he's looking all nervous and sweaty. And he's like, "Oh, I was drinking earlier, that's all, I guess." And Yun's like, "Honestly, drinking during the day isn't good for you. I'll brew you some tea later, it'll make you feel better." And he's like, "You don't have to do that for me." I was like, "Sorry." I'm sorry, is this the first time we've ever seen J-Hawk call someone bro? He's like, "Hey there, bro." It's like, "You're strong, right? So this will all be okay?" Then that's Ogi saying, "You're strong, right?" Oh, sorry, it's Ogi saying, "Hey there, bro," for a second. Oh, he's saying that to J-Hawk. For a second, I was so confused as to why J-Hawk was calling someone bro. He's like, "Hey, so it's Ogi going, 'Hey there, bro. You're strong, right? So this will all be okay?'" And he's like, "Huh?" And then he hears rustling behind him and goes, "Yona!" He's like, "Huh?" "We have to get back to the palace." And J-Hawk's like, "How could I let this happen? I let my guard down." It's like, "We're in danger here." And you see the cloaked goons all just surrounding them. And he's like, "Head back, run, we're surrounded." J-Hawk, as he laughs, sends out his little kunai. And you see the assassins just dodging out of the way. And J-Hawk's like, "Ugh." And Zeno's like, "You're not fully recovered, are you, Green Dragon?" And Zeno just lunges at them. But they sidestep him, just slam him down to the ground. He's like, "Zeno!" It's like, "Capture him." Yona's like, "Zeno!" J-Hawk's like, "I can't carry 3 people and still leap. At this rate, you hear no one move. One step and I'll slit his throat." And you see one of the goons holding up a blade to Yun's throat. He's like, "Stop!" And Ogi's like, "Hold on." He's not one of the dragon warriors, he's just a kid. You see the assassin just lashing out at Ogi and slicing him across the midsection. And Yun's like, Ogi! It's like, I'm aware of that. We won't kill the red-haired girl or the 4 dragons. Nice work, informant. We're taking them to the Kai Empire. And Yona's like, the Kai Empire? It's like, exactly. If you come along quietly, this kid gets to keep breathing. For now. And you see poor Ogi just kind of like tearing up as he's keeled over in pain. And you see Gija's dragon senses going off. As Huck's like, what's up? It's like, Jeha and Zeno feel distant. And you hear Taejun running in going, Huck! And Kyoga's like, Taejun, lower your voice. We're having an important meeting here. He's like, Princess Yona isn't in the palace. It's like, Jeha and Zeno aren't nearby either. And Kyoga's like, what's the meaning of this? I thought they were at Mother's mansion. Did Advisor K-Shook do something? And Taejun's like, that's not it. A man called Ogi stopped by and the 4 of them said that they were heading to the palace gates. No one's seen them since. Huck's like, Ogi? And he's like, do you know him? It's like, yeah. What brought him here? I'll go look for them. He's like, we'll pick this up later, General Kyoga. He's like, all right. And Taejun's like, Huck! And Huck's like, which way to Droopy Eyes and Zeno? And Sinha's like, this way. Here, Hook-Chi, gather the troops. We absolutely must find Princess Yona. And you hear, you see Huck thinking, it'll be all right. Droopy Eyes and Zeno are with her. And you see them heading over to where Ogi and Kaji's kind of leaning over Ogi. And you hear, Ogi? He's like, Ogi! He's like, what happened? And Kaji's like, who are you guys? It's like, friends of Ogi's. Fill us in, fast. He's got some sketchy bunch of guys in black attacked Ogi. They took the red-haired girl and dragons and left. And I don't understand what's happening. You see Huck dashing off through the crowd trying to find him. And you see, I get... Oh God, and he thinks flashback. You want to tell him, I get strength from your hands too, and I get you to push me forward. When I draw strength from you, I feel like I'm stronger than anyone. And he's just holding out his hand. He's got this murderous glare on his face. And you see Sky Tribe Troop Garrison. And you hear K-Shook going, Princess Yona and 2 of the 4 dragons have gone missing? It's like, why are you here? They haven't come this way. Do you think everything is my fault? Kyoga's like, no. It's like they left after being contacted by a man called Ogi. They haven't returned since. And K-Shook's like, and? And Huck goes, someone attacked Ogi, but he managed to survive. He says Her Highness and the others were grabbed by some men dressed in black, who are taking them to the Kai Empire. And you see that K-Shook shocked by this news as he goes, what? It's like, it seems enemies have snuck into the Saika Palace town. Those men didn't appear to belong to the Fire Tribe. Evidently, they were looking for a red-haired girl and the 4 dragon warriors. During the battle the other day, Kulbo's army witnessed the dragon's powers. Kai's probably had its eyes on them ever since. And K-Shook's like, now that power's fallen into the Empire's hands. Kyoga's like, right before a battle. And you hear Huck going, I'll get them back. We'll retrieve Her Highness and our friends. He's like, you mean you intend to head into Sen Province? Gija's like, of course. And K-Shook's like, I forbid the dragons to go. And they're like, what? We don't take orders from you. And K-Shook's like, they obviously hope to acquire you two as well. I have no doubt that they'll lay traps to capture you. And Huck goes, I'll go alone. And he's like, with what chance of success? Sen Province is huge. We have virtually no information. Ying Kulbo is on the verge of invading again with a larger army. Forgive me if I doubt that even the Thunder Beast can overcome all that alone. And he's like, why stop me though? From your perspective, isn't it best if Her Highness and I disappear? Ah, I see. If she's been taken, you're saved the trouble of dealing with her yourself. And you see him just kind of like grimacing, smirking at Huck as he goes, you can believe whatever you want. However, my deepest desire is to lead this nation to victory. An enemy nation wielding the power of the 4 dragon warriors would be disastrous for Koka. I never said I wouldn't save them. I said you can't do it alone. Of course, even with all of us it will be difficult. But I think we share a common interest. Don't you agree, Thunder Beast? And you see back at Rihazara's palace in Sento's Sen Province, North Kai. You have both Zeno and Jeha shackled to a wall. And Yun's like, Jeha, Zeno, are you okay? It's like, somewhat. It's like, we're finally in Hazara's hands, aren't we? And Yun's like, sorry, they used me against you. Jaeha's like, I'm the one who couldn't use my power. It's like, I still don't have any strength, and I don't like the memories these chains bring up. And Zeno's like, Zeno expected to defeat them even if they slashed him, but they tied him up instead. It's like, it's good. It's gotta be freaking Gobi's men because they know what Zeno's powers are. It's good that no one's badly hurt, though. And you're hearing, Yep, as fucking Gobi walks in, going, well, these are the same dragons. And Yona's like, you're that priest from Xing. Why are you here? He's like, thank you for all you've done, princess. Things have become rather uncomfortable for me in Xing. He's like, what are you after? He's like, the same things as before. I want the 4 dragons. And Zeno's like, that strange fellow's taken a shine to us. Jaeha's like, can't say I like it. And you hear a Gobi, come to see the dragons. He's like, my Lord Kulbo. It's like, they're the ones in chains. It's like, King Kulbo, the man responsible for this war. He's like, they don't look particularly special. It's like, I suppose not, no. And then they open the jail cell and goes, only Princess Yona can come out. And Yun's like, what are you planning? It's like, you know what'll happen if you disobey. He's like, Yun, I'll be fine. It's like, Yona. He goes, permit me to borrow this for a moment as he takes Kulbo's sword. And Jaeha's like, when she was in danger, dragons manifested from within the dragon warriors. I witnessed it. Or that must be Gobi thinking that. It's like, we should see the same thing now if I slice her up a little. And Jaeha's like, stop! And he goes, behold! Oh, God, I love this. That is good. And you see the next panel, Yona just roundhouses Gobi right in the neck, just completely lays him out, as everyone's just watching in shock, and even Kulbo's like, oh, chapter 165 in the enemy's hands. And he's like, my neck. And Zeno's like, incredible young lady. He's like, you wretched little girl, as he's like trying to crawl towards the sword. And Yona just grabs it out of his hand and goes, don't move! I'll do more than kick you! And Kulbo just starts laughing. He's like, ha ha ha, nicely done. And here it expected a princess of Coca to be a sheltered flower. This is much more entertaining. And Yona points his sword at him and goes, return us to Coca immediately, young Kulbo. And he just stares at her, and he grabs his cloak, just uses it to grab the blade of the sword, yanks Yona forward, and just falls down to the ground. He yanks her forward, grabs her by the throat and holds her to the ground. And Yun's like, Yona! He goes, don't get cocky now. We're in the middle of Sen province. Do you honestly think swinging a sword around does you any good? Mind your place. And he hears a clank as he looks nearby. And he sees Jaeha just struggling to snap his chains. And Kulbo's like, hey, now, are you actually trying to break that chain? And you see the next page that Jaeha has indeed snaps it. And as he starts marching towards him, he goes, hold it. I said hold it. Don't move. And he grabs Yona and puts a blade to her throat. She's like, Jaeha. It's like, you are amazing, I see. Looks like what Gobi said about this girl triggering your powers is true. Anyway, calm down. You don't look well. You're injured, aren't you? This is perfect. Come on, Green One, but only you. Don't forget you're in an enemy camp. And you see, as they march outside, they just see, a wall of troops all gathered up. And he goes, my Tuli tribe and Rihazara Sen province have joined forces. In 4 days we march for Coca. My goal is to conquer territory in Coca as well as the Kai Empire. The Dragon Warrior's powers will help me. And Jaeha's like, you really think we'll obey you? He goes, if you don't, she dies. Sooner or later I'll have all 4 of you. And he goes, hey! And he beckons one of his men close. And he's like, yes, sir! And you see a bunch of them just surrounding Jaeha. He's like, what's this? Abducting and chaining me wasn't enough? Now you're mobbing me? The Tuli tribe has some peculiar interests. And Kulbo goes, I want to see your power in action. Fight these guys for a while. And they're like, sire, can we kill him? If he dies that easily, I think that's Kolbo going, if he dies that easily, it wouldn't have been much use to me anyway. And Yona's like, you're doing this when you know he's injured? He's like, what of it? He's already taken down lots of my men. And Jeha's thinking, they stripped me of all my hidden weapons, and this far from Coca, my body feels like it's made of lead. Even if I defeat everyone here and escape with Yona, Yuna and Zeno are still prisoners. They'd be in terrible danger. Given all that, the guy just slides his foot out as he gets no fighting stance, and you see the soldiers rushing with a, get him! It's like, I may as well go all out. He just lashes out with his feet and sends one of the soldiers flying back to crack into a wall behind Kolbo. And he disarms another one, grabs his sword, and then bisects another. And he goes, there's no rule against stealing weapons, is there? And he cuts down a couple of more of the soldiers with the sword. And you see one of them comes up from behind and slashes Jeha from behind. And you have Jeha! He's like, hey, stay put, you. And you see Yona just furiously glaring at him as she just rips her arm out of his grasp and then elbows him. And he grabs her elbow and goes, hey, that's a strong elbow. I heard your father, King Il, was a pacifist. What did he teach you? Ooh. And you see he basically levers her arms behind her and puts a foot on her back and shoves her down onto the ground so that he can basically disable her. So it looks like you need restraining. He's like, not a single scream? Are you trying not to distract that man? It's like, you've got guts. And you hear, my lord, shall we tie her up? He goes, bring some chains. And you see with a final crack, Jeha knocks down the last of the soldiers. And he goes, I can see that you're strong, but I feel like you still haven't shown me everything. It's like, never mind that. What have you done to her? And you see that he's chained up Yona's legs. He goes, your princess is wilder than she looks, so I'm handling her accordingly. And he goes, chain or bind me if you must, but that's an awful way to treat a girl. He goes, join my army and I'll unshackle her. I kill my enemies, but I'm generous to those who serve me. And Jeha's like, what exactly do you want? He goes, I'm launching my attack on Coca in 4 days. The remaining dragons are bound to make an appearance. Bring them to me. Until then, this princess is my hostage, and the others stay imprisoned. Jeha's like, fine, I'll do as you say. It's like, that's what I like to hear, Green Dragon. He's like, hey, return her to the cell and treat her wounds. Excuse me. It's like, once I have the dragon warriors, I'll let her go. And Jashira, keep your hands off her. Shouldn't touch her so freely. And Kulbo's like, oh, do the legendary dragons forbid it? And Jeha's like, oh, I'm not the one you should worry about. If you're not careful, a beast of lightning just might tear out your throat. He's like, a beast of lightning? And as Yona's turning to walk away, he's like, where are you going? She's like, I'm returning to my cell. He's like, hey, what a good prisoner. But you're not going there. I think I'll keep you at my side, actually. Ugh, fucking creepo. And Yona's like, I won't try to escape. It's like, he wouldn't get far like that, but... And he grabs her and just kind of cradles her chin. Goes, I'll show my respect to Coca's princess by allowing you to sleep in her room rather than a cell. So you just need to stay in the palace until I have the 4 dragons. Easy, right? So is there something you'd like to say, Your Highness? She goes, don't call me Your Highness. He's like, huh? It's a perfectly polite thing to call you. What should I call you, prisoner? She's like, that's fine. He's like, really? It's like, the Princess of Coca. Like, this Princess of Coca makes no sense to me. You see a sign saying former nomad. And you have Psycha Palace Barracks Conference Room. You have Keisha going, the Sen Province army will be making its move in the next few days. You're certain? It's like, yes, sir. They're gathering forces as they head to our border. And Huck's like, how many soldiers are we talking about? He's like, well... And Keisha's like, you can speak freely. Answer him. It's like, we've confirmed that the army's at least 10,000 strong. We expect that number to grow. Huck's like, 10,000. And Kyoga goes, and our reinforcements? It's like, General Judo will arrive soon. Huck's like, General Judo? Suwon isn't coming? It's like, that's good. I'll be able to focus. And Kyoga's like, I'll be on the front line. Thunderbeast, could you coordinate with Taejun? He's like, leave it to us, brother. Thunderbeast, let's work together, okay? Okay? It's like, Thunderbeast? And Huck's silent as he's thinking, I can't rely on Whitesnake or Sinha. Our enemy is going to be targeting them. It's like, are you listening, Thunderbeast? It's like, I can't trust Key shook the Sky Tribe, Kyoga, or Judo. It's like, Thunder Beast, hello? It's like, in order to protect White Snake and Sinha, drive off the 10th Province forces, and get to Kolbo's base to save Her Highness and the others, in order to keep everyone safe. And he seems like gritting his fist. It's like, someone, it's like, ow. And you see Ogi laid out in a bed recuperating. It's like, how many days ago was they attacked? What's going on out in the world? Whenever I sleep, I just dream about those cloaked men. It's like, is someone there? You see one of the masked assassins, or at least he's imagining one of the masked assassins sneaking into his room. And he goes, stay back! It's like, huh? It's like, wait, it's like, keep away! It's like, Ogi? It's like, it's me, see? You see that Voldo's the one that's stuck into his room. And he's like, huh? You're Voldo? It's like, it's me, alright. It's like, from Shing? And you see, I received an urgent message from Kanji saying you'd been injured. You see, Kanji's Ogi's informant friend. He's like, yeah, come to think of it, I was writing a reply to you. It's like, I thought you were someone else. Don't scare me like that, you dolt. He's like, huh? It's like, sorry about that. It's like, are you feeling better? I bought a get well present. It's like, of course not, you dummy. It really hurts. It's like, dummy? Only that idiot has ever called me that before. I don't think it's accurate at all. He's like, wait, that idiot's gone. I told him to follow me. It's like, he's always causing trouble. And you see Teijin going, honestly, that Thunder Beast. And it's Kitty Boy, whose name I cannot remember. Do we have... Nope, we'll have to figure it out as we go. And you see Teijin going, he wasn't listening to me at all. Whatever, I'm going to prepare for battle and go save Princess Yona. You see, huh? Who's that lurking in the garden? It's like, you there, what are you doing? You haven't... Oh, Teijin Kitty, it's been a while. Is there a problem? As we get to chapter 166, military... Oh, it's Algira, that's it. You have military strength. You see, you're from Shing. You came to see me with Princess Yona. It's like, I'm Algira. It's like, you helped us, so I came to return the favor. It's like, return the favor? It's like, we're rather busy right now. And you hear an Algidiot chasing after cats again. I told you we're going to go check in on Ogi. And Daedrin's like, who is he? How did he get into my mansion? And Chukhi? What the hell is his bro's name? Sorry, give me a second here. No, it's Hookchi. Hookchi, that was it. Hookchi goes, he said they were friends of Ogi, so I'll let them in. It's like, I recognized Algira Kitty as the man who accompanied Princess Yona before. Yeah, they're here from Shing on a mission. It's like, a mission? It's like, shut up! Teijin Kitty helped out Shing. And Volda's like, he did? It's like, thank you then. And Teijin's like, do you two know Huck? And you see a rattle as there's a cart making its way. I guess it's getting loaded up with military provisions. And you hear Gija going, it's almost time to head to the border. And you hear, Huck Kitty! He's like, did you hear something? He's like, huh? It's like, and Sinha goes, Huck, above you, watch out. You see a Huck Kitty! Algira just leaping in from the sky towards him as they both exchange some kicks. And Algira just flips back and lands with like a power pose. It's like, Algira! It's like, your kicks really are incredible, Huck Kitty. And you see Voldo just like sprinting up, being like, hello again, everyone. Get back here, Algidiot. It's like, Voldo, what are you two doing here? And you see Algira glomping them as he goes, Gija Kitty and Sinha Kitty are here too. And Voldo's like, we came here to see Ogi. We heard he was attacked by black-clad men. Do you remember Priest Gobi and Shing? And Huck's like, that crafty old guy? It's like, it's very likely that men who worked for him were the ones who attacked Ogi. He's like, what? Oh, I'm not going to do the whole kitty thing, but he's like, but Algira's like, all the others were kidnapped? It's like, you said Pukyu Kitty twice. It's like, those men took them to the Kai Empire. And Voldo goes, we suspected Priest Gobi might still be after the 4 legendary dragons, so we reached out to Ogi for information on you, but we were one step behind. It's like, curse that man! He escaped all the way to the Kai Empire! It's like, I don't believe Priest Gobi would kill the dragon warriors, though. And Gija's like, the attack on Ogi only proves that Her Highness and Yuna are in danger. So we're going into battle soon. And Algira's like, Huck Kitty, don't you worry, I'm with you. And Voldo's like, Princess Korn sent us here with orders to capture Priest Gobi, and we haven't forgotten what you did for Shing. We'll fight at your side. Let's get out there and save Yona Kitty and the others. And you see Huck just gathering in for a hug as well. He's like, thank you. And they're all just so shocked. They're just like gently patting him on the back. Like, you don't have to pat me. And he just like, then let's all head for the battlefield. It's like, okay. It's like, my heart skipped a beat. It's like, white snake. And Huck goes, white snake. White snake. Sinha, don't go into battle. They're like, huh? What are you saying? You'll need our powers for this. He goes, you guys are the targets here. It's like, we're well aware of that, but... He goes, white snake. It's like, I don't want anyone else taken away from me. Oh, Huck's growing up. He goes, Huck. You hear a thoom and a huh? And a whoa. It's like, it's the general. General Judo has arrived. And you see Judo with what I assume are Sky Tribe's troops in tow. And Huck's like, I'm caught between Sen Province's army at my front and the Sky Tribe army led by K-Shook and Judo at my back. Having Algira and Voldo here is a relief. But how should I fight? And you see a trudge as one of the soldiers who's trying to move rations is dragging one of his feet behind him. And a wobble is about to fall. And Huck grabs his arm and goes, you okay there? He's like, oh. It's like, thank you for your help, Captain Huck. It's like, Captain? It's like, yes, sir. I'm from Lord Tajin's squad. I heard you'd be leading us. It's like, you're fighting with that leg? It's like, we don't have enough men as it is. I want to do all I can to protect the Fire Tribe. Huck's like, I know the feeling. It's like, he has something he wants to protect. Even if his leg's broken or his arm's torn off. It's not just me. Everyone here feels that way as they head into battle. And the guy's like, I feel more confident knowing you're leading us. It's like, they're putting their lives in my hands. He's like, can you use a bow? It's like, huh? Yes, I can. It's like, in that case, go help out the archery squad. It's like, lend me a sword. It's like, hey, do any of you want some training? It's like, this is just my own experience, but I'll teach you how to win on the battlefield. Jeff, whoa, and a murmur from all the soldiers. You see it, wow, as they're all just gathered, all the Fire Tribe troops are gathering around him as he's doing a demonstration. And the Sky Tribe's like, what's going on? They seem excited about something, those Fire Tribe guys. Yeah, former General Huck's teaching them his fighting style. Like, what? They're so lucky. It's like, shush, the advisor will hear you. It's like, I never expected him to join our troops. I have nothing against him, but we've been after him for a while now. And you hear, K-Shook, are you acquainted with the Thunder Beast of the Wind Tribe? You only see a warrior... Oh, it's a flashback to baby Suwon. Going, you only see a warrior like him once every 100. No, every 1,000 years. I doubt we'll sway him to our side, though. And you see Judo riding up going, Advisor K-Shook. It's like, General Judo, thank you for coming. It's like, what is that man doing in our barracks? And he goes, he's teaching the Fire Tribe soldiers battle techniques they can use in the field. It's like, will he be joining our forces? It's like, that's the situation. It's like, are you out of your mind? He's trying to kill His Majesty. It's like, we'll deal with that later. That said, General, he might really be the kind of warrior you only see once in 1,000 years. Let's have him be a shield for the Sky Tribe. You see on the next page, poor barefoot Yona, her feet looking a little bit torn up. As you have a trip and a thud as she falls over. And Kolbo's like, I shackled you because you won't stay put. But now you're too slow to keep up with me. He's just glaring at him. He goes, hey, bring her to me later on. I'm going on ahead. And you see stubborn looking Yona just hopping, instead of walking, just hopping because the chains won't let her walk fast quickly. And he's like, you keep making me laugh and you hop so fast. I'm surprised you haven't fallen over. Are you sure you're a princess? It's like, your people must adore you, huh? And your dragons are so impressive. The people of Koka must be furious right about now. And Yona goes, none of my people are concerned about me. I have no value as a princess. There's no point in using me to bargain with the king. He's like, why not? It's like, the man on the throne drove me from the palace. Kolbo's like, don't the dragon warriors belong to the royal family? And she goes, they're entirely unrelated. He goes, seems like your life's complicated too. And he goes, if you join me, I'll remove those shackles. We'll form an alliance. And she just keeps hopping on ahead. And he goes, that hopping is getting less amusing. On the next page, he just bundles her up under his arm. Goes, carrying you like this would be faster. I don't much like it, so don't squirm. So where are we going? He goes, to dinner with an ally. He's like, I'm not your ally. It's like, not you, someone else. And you see later, I never can get used to how ludicrously spacious this place is. And you see it's Hazara, Lord of Sen Province. And he goes, unsociable as always, Hazara? He's like, that girl. It's like, you've seen her before? This is Princess Yona of Koka. And Hazara's like, Princess Yona? It's like, you abducted her? You should call this off before Suan retaliates. He's like, this again? Suan's some 18-year-old kid. And Yona's like, so this is Hazara. Unlike Kolbo, he looks quite haggard. And it's Kolbo's soldiers who are all around us, but I thought this palace belonged to Hazara. And Hazara goes, my troops are being placed on the front lines in the battle 4 days from now, even though your tribe has claimed our best weapons and horses. And Kolbo's like, my men are better than yours. They'll make better use of those. And he slams his fist down and goes, you have no concern for my people. He's like, calm down, brother. The Tuli tribe will protect you on the battlefield. Soon we'll have all 4 dragon warriors. With that power, we'll eventually control Koka and the entire Kai Empire. And Hazara's like, the entire empire? It's like, the dragons don't belong to Suan. They serve this girl. It seems Gobi wasn't just spouting nonsense. With this girl in my possession, I'll get everything I want. So you have chapter 167, Too Heavy a Burden. And you see a little festival celebration happening in Sen Province. And Yona's looking on, surprised and confused. As Kolbo's like, we're holding a celebration before the battle. This is how the Tuli tribe gets hyped up to fight. It's like the green dragon will be taking the blonde one into battle. What are that one's powers anyhow? He doesn't seem particularly strong. And Yona goes, Zeno has no powers. He's not for combat. And Kolbo's like, no battlefield reports gave any information about him. Whatever, we'll put him in the field and see. And he's like, don't, if you do, Zeno will. He's like, I've finally reached the point of leading over 10,000 troops. And she's like, why do you want the dragon warriors? So many people follow you. You have a magnificent base. And he goes, as a symbol, the Tuli tribe once included a woman we called our goddess of war. And Yona's like, goddess of war? It's like my older sister. She was a glorious woman. Our father and our people adored her. The Tuli tribe worshipped the ground she walked on. When she led us, our tribe was invincible. And Yona's like, where is she now? It's like, dead. She wed Kai's emperor, and then we were told it'd been an accident. They said her body couldn't be recovered. Those Kai scum almost certainly murdered her. Losing his symbol drove my father to despair. He was a shell of himself. What a joke. But now I'm king. I still live. I'll prove it to my people and the entire world. In battle, the dragon's warrior's powers is a unifying force. That's why I want them. But more than that, I'm interested in you. You're very much like my sister, our goddess of war. She's like, I am? It's like, I suppose it's your strong will and the air about you. He goes, I'll make you the Tuli tribe's new war goddess. I'll treat you well if you follow me. And you can see that Yona is confused, I guess. He goes, that aside, what's this beast of lightning? The green dragon mentioned it. He said a beast of lightning would rip out my throat if I touched you. A man, I presume, not an actual beast? It's like, your lover? She's like, no, he... And Kolbo gets annoyed and goes, sounds like a beast I can't easily control. I'll have to kill him. And Yona just says, full of confidence, no one can kill Huck. He's like, Huck, And then he just goes and grabs him, like, throws her over his shoulder like a sack of potatoes, and goes, we're going into battle tomorrow, time to sleep. He's like, I don't want to sleep beside you. Leave me in the cell with my people. He's like, I haven't even done anything to you. I have no interest in brats like you. But I think you'll be a tremendous woman in 2 years. And as he walks off, you see Gobi just staring at them from behind. And you see a dum-dum-dum as the battle drums are playing the next day. And you see a come out as Jahan and the others are being led out. And Kolbo goes, follow my orders on the battlefield. If you try anything funny, this kid dies. And you hear Euron. And you hear, yes? And he goes, this is Euron, my wife. While I'm gone, she'll look after you. And Yona's like, huh? It's like, you're married? It's like, of course I am. And he goes, take care of things. He's like, I will. And he goes, come on. And as they're following, Yona goes, Jeha! And she just gives him a hug and goes, it's like, Yona, it's like, be careful out there. It's like, you too, Zeno. And it's like, okay. And she does the same to Yona. He's like, Yona, it's like, I'll be fine. And you see them all making off in a carriage. And you see poor Yona's just shaking as he goes, Yona said to escape if we have a chance. And Zeno's like, Green Dragon, didn't the young lady say something to you as well? And you see, apparently, you see Jeha flashing back to Yona telling them Kulbo and Hazara aren't united. Hazara and his soldiers aren't enthused about this war. You have the Kingdom of Koka, Sen province border. You have hurry, don't dawdle. We're about to go into battle. The fire tribe's on the front line and the sky tribe's in the rear. Like, we have General Huck with us. And Chayden's like, yeah. I was like, I'm here too, guys. Like, and you see Huck going, I'm not a general. The fire tribe has General Kyoga. And the soldier's like, yes, of course. We meant you're the general of the wind tribe. And he's like, the wind tribe general's name is Teiyu. I hope you'll work well with him. And they're like, what should we call you then? Like, some guys were calling me captain, but anything's fine. And you see Algira riding up going, Huck Kitty! It's like, Huck Kitty? He's like, anything but that. And you see his whip slips. There's Gija and Sinhar just like dashing behind the soldiers trying to catch up to Huck, pretending like they're being all sneaky. And Gija's like, listen closely, Sinha. We mustn't let Huck see us. When he gets anxious, he starts taking drastic measures, like trying to exclude us from battle. I'm positive he's trying to handle this all by himself. We need to make sure he doesn't do anything rash. And you hear, the Sen province army is in sight. And you see Dum 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 as the two armies are facing off. And you have, this is the first time I felt paralyzed while standing before an enemy. And you see Huck glances nearby and he sees the fire tribe soldiers kind of just trembling. He's like, I fought many armies with White Snake and the others. As a general, I performed military exercises. But I've never actually led troops into battle before. The soldiers are relying on me. But Kyoga and Judo are far more experienced leaders. It's like, it's terrifying. His hand just tightening on the shaft of his Guandao. It's like, suddenly there's so many people I want to protect. More of them than I can protect. And you see him just raising up his Guando like a little flag. And everyone's looking in surprise. He goes, everyone, I'm not from the Fire Tribe. I've even fought Fire Tribe soldiers before. But I understand your desire to protect your home. These lands were once devastated. I know how hard you're working to revitalize your homeland. And I swear upon this blade that I will not allow those soldiers to enter this nation. You see all the troops just like getting all teary-eyed, just like, yeah! They're just like screaming and cheering. They're like, hooray for Captain Huck! And Daedrin's like, you made me tear up. Huck's like, it's starting. And you hear, you see Hazara's and Kulbo's troops sounding a battle horn. As Huck thinks back to that day, I received power through your hands. The first thing I have to do is drive off these soldiers. It's like, wait for me. I'm coming for you. You see Yona just kind of like locked up inside the palace, just like drawing her knees up to her chest. So you have chapter 168, the most powerful decoy. You have Taejun's squad advance down the center. And you have Volda going, Algira, at least carry a weapon. Honestly, what do you think we're here to do? Well, it just gives him this giant-ass looking axe. And Algira's like, Taejun, Kitty, you stay in the back. We just have to fight those guys off, right? Huck's like, that's the information Advisor Kashuk was hoping for. It's like, the enemy has doubled the number of infantry in the center in order to charge down the middle. Therefore, I'm letting Thunderbeast's squad deal with them. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. While Thunderbeast and his squad defend against the attack concentrated in the middle, our most powerful cavalry squad, led by General Judo, will destroy the enemy's right flank. So you see, Sen army has about 12,000 troops, while Koka's army are about 8,000. You see, General Judo's cavalry will then circle behind the Sen province army to assist Kyoga's cavalry. In the end, we'll surround the Sen army province from the front and the sides. This battle hinges on how long our troops in the center can withstand the enemy attacks. I'm sure they'll do an admirable job. Let's see if the Thunder Beast truly is a warrior we only see every 1,000 years. And Huck goes, if I'm taken down, it's 2 birds with 1 stone. This is a battlefield. I'm content with my role. I'll show you a job well done, just as you planned, advisor. It's like, but I'm not dying for you. And he goes, archers, fire! As you see them knocking their bows, and you have heavy infantry, advance! As they put up a shield wall to block the arrows. It goes, that shield wall is thick. And you see them pulling out a bunch of spears as Huck goes, fall back! As you thunk, 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 as a rain of spears are taking down some of the cavalry going forward. And as the Sen province are cheering a little bit too early, you see a clop, 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 clop. As you see Huck riding in with a murderous glare. As he just slashes his glaive right through the swath of the soldiers at the front. You see the rest of the cavalry following behind him. And again, as he's cutting down more soldiers, he's just got this murderous intent leaking everywhere. And he's like, don't be scared, they're only lightly armored. You have advanced, follow Captain Huck's lead. And you see Judo and his men are also on the left flank. And Gija's like, I didn't think there'd be so little to do in the rear. Sinha, how's Huck doing? And he's like, he's attacking with more force than usual. It's like, that's worrying. It's like, I want to fight, but if we go out there now, we might break Huck's concentration. He's like, Sinha, did you sense that? They're like, to the left. It's like, let's go. And you see Keisha going, the left flank is at a standstill. And that's General Judo's cavalry squad. It's like, how can that be? They're the best the Sky Tribe has to offer. What's happening over there? It's like, I've just deployed a scout. If General Judo can't provide support in time, General Kyoga's cavalry squad might be crushed before he arrives. What should we do, Advisor K. Shook? And you see at Judo's flank, it's Jehaz that's stopping the advance. As a one-man army as he's knocking out Sky Tribe forces. And you see Zeno doing the same as he just hoists up one of the soldiers, horse and all, and just kind of tosses him off. And like, wasn't that man just trampled by a horse? It's like the legendary dragons. I saw them at Saika Palace. I remember seeing that blonde kid's arrow wound vanish. And Judo's like, the dragons that were taken prisoner by Sen province. Are they trying to block us? And you see one of his men going, if they're enemies, I'll cut them down. And Jehad just leaps into the air to strike at him. And Gija comes in and blocks his with the dragon claw. And Jehad just glances down and grabs him by the arm and goes, here you are. And Jehad just kind of like, or Gija just like swipes his arm out of his grasp. He's like, Jeha? It's been a while, Gija. Sinha's like, Zeno. Like, Jeha, Zeno, what are you doing here? Like the white and blue dragons. It's like the green and yellow dragon, and you see how one of the soldiers going, the green and yellow dragons now serve our king Kulbo. They'll be fighting you as members of the Tuli tribe. And Gija's like, what's the meaning of this? It's like, don't make me repeat myself. They are, and he goes, Jeha, what happened? Where are Her Highness and Yun? And Jeha goes, as you just heard, I'm fighting against the Koka army. And Gija's like, the very army Huck is leading right now in order to save you? While you're stalling our nation's cavalry, Huck might do something rash and die. It's like, we have no time for this. Clear a path. We'll talk later. And Jeha's like, you'll have to force me. And you see Gija just enlarging his dragon arm again. It's like the legendary dragon's powers. And he goes, Her Highness and Yun are probably being held hostage. But that's all the more reason why Koka's army mustn't be defeated. Get going, Judo, or whoever you are. I'll hold him back. And you see one of the soldiers knocking an arrow as he goes, that's the white dragon, right? Let's weaken him a little and deliver him as a gift to our Lord Kulbo. And you see a pow as Jeha just breaks his bow with a kick. He goes, that's my job. I'll thank you to stay out of it. And the guy's like, make sure you bring him to us. He's like, it'll take some time. He's stronger than I am. And Sinha's like, Zeno. It's like, long story short, we were ordered to destroy Koka's army. It's like, please stop, Zeno. Oh, he goes, please stop, Zeno, Blue Dragon. It's like, he'll be fine. Zeno won't die even if you stab him. If you don't hurry, the young fellow will be in danger, won't he? And you see at the center with Huck and Tajin's sword, you see Huck just lashing out, destroying more soldiers. As Fire Tribe troops are also getting cut down around him. He's like, what's happened to Judo's cavalry squad? It's like, I packed the rear of my squad with new recruits. I need to keep them from becoming targets. It's like, now I understand. When I was behind them, I felt so confident. And you hear a, Huck Kitty! as one of the Sen province soldiers slashes Huck's side. And you see him keeling and falling off the horse. So you have chapter 168 end. We pick up back with Kolbo's camp as he goes, anything to report on the Dragon Warriors? You have, yes sir! As planned, they successfully stalled the Koka army's cavalry squad and drew out the remaining 2 dragons. He's like, oh, he's quite useful after all. Hurry and bring him here. Like, the thing is, the dragons are resisting. So we have a hostage here. Make them hurry. It's like another thing. Has a thunder beast appeared on the battlefield? And they're like, the thunder beast? It's like a man like a beast of lightning. I don't know much about him. And he's like, I heard that the central infantry were being held back by a single soldier when the battle began, but they were able to bring him down. It was just one soldier after all. And he thinks back to Jay telling him a beast of lightning might just tear out your throat. And he goes, I wanted to see what he was like, but if he's someone who just rolls over and dies, he's not worth my time. So you have chapter 169, a quick-witted duo. And you see after Huck's being cut down, a bunch of soldiers surrounding him. And Algir's trying to make his way to him going, Huck Kitty! The Captain Huck! And the soldier's like, kill him! It's like, you seem to be a great warrior in Koka. And you see Huck sees a little lapis pendant that Yona gave him. He's like, I'll finish you off! You're a thoom! As soldiers are blown back. And Tadrin's like, what? Huck was wounded and unhorsed? Call the medics. Let's go, Hookchi! He's like, oh, stop, Lord Tadrin! It's like, if anything happens to you, our squad will be in disarray. Lord Tadrin! It's like, Huck, you idiot. If something happens to you, where will that leave Princess Yona? And you see a Huck! As one of the soldiers like straggles up to try to lunge at Tadrin, and a spear takes him through the back. Oh, you see Huck just rising up bloodied like a shadowy specter. Oh, I love that. And Tadrin's like, Huck? Is that really you? Cheer, hey, it's dangerous on the front lines, Lord Tadrin. It's like, I heard you were injured. Are you all right? It's like, just a scratch. Seems like it cleared my head. You see him just tucking back the pendant Yona gave him. It's like, this is no time for me to die. It's like, the battle seems to have stopped in just this area. It's like, the enemy has lost their will to fight. You see Huck just brushing off all the grime and blood as he goes, what's the other squad status? It's like, the general's cavalry squad seems to be slow. It's like, oh yes, General Judo appears to have run into some trouble. That's disrupted our strategy, so my brother's cavalry squad is struggling. It's like, I get the picture. Tadrin's like, what should we do? Is there a course of action we can take? And he's like, a plan. It's like, Tadrin. It's like, yes? It's like, it's only a matter of time before Kyoga's cavalry squad is crushed. I want you to maneuver the infantry on the right flank exactly as I say. He's like, all right. It's like, Algira, Volo, you two go with them. He's like, what? Who will defend this area? He's like, I'll handle it. This plan requires warriors who can break through enemy lines. And Volo just like sparkling. He's like, understood. He's like, Huck Kitty, even you can't handle this whole area without... He goes, one more thing. Once you're past the enemy cavalry squad, I want you to head to Hazara's palace. And they're looking at him in surprise, like, take care of her highness and my friends. Java, got it. We'll meet at Hazara's palace. And Huck just nods, like, let's go, Tadrin Kitty. It's like, okay. And Huck's like, now then, come on, let's have another go at this. You see, right flank General Kyoga's cavalry squad. And you have General Kyoga, we can't keep this up any longer. The curses, what's taking General Judo so long? And you have General Kyoga, a message for you. Captain Huck says to fall back. It's like, the Thunder Beast? It's like, what should we do? He's like, fall back. And Kolbo's like, the enemy's right flank cavalry are pulling back. It's like, it seems the right flank is first to collapse. It's like, go all out, crush them. And you see back at the Koka army camp, you have Advisor Keishuk. General Kyoga's cavalry squad is pulling back. He's like, what? Even with General Judo taking so long to break past the right flank, I didn't expect General Kyoga to go down first. Is the fire tribe unable to hold out even there? And your Advisor, look! The infantry squad on the central right flank is circling behind General Kyoga's cavalry. Yeah, that's... Your fall back, fall back! You have the fire tribe archery squad. It's like, advance! Koka has lost the will to fight. You're, huh? Clop, 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 clop. And you see a flashback to baby Huck and Suon. As baby Huck goes, hey Lord Suon, sure this formation is handy for winning with fewer troops, but you can't count on things going like you expect in a real battle. For what example, what if your left flank cavalry was about to go down first, because your right flank cavalry ran into trouble. He's like, that would be a problem, of course. But at times like that, the enemy becomes so sure of their victory that they get careless. I'd have my cavalry fall back and have some infantry from the center provide support to the cavalry. And then see the archers. So you see the Sen Province troops that were chasing after the cavalry now getting shot down by the archers on the fire tribe. It's like, bam! While the enemy's off guard, I fill them with arrows. He's like, how devious of you. It's like, well, they choose the most devious option too. And he's like, hey, and then what if they charge at you again? He's like, the enemy soldiers remaining would probably still come at them. It's only a few infantry after all. It's like, don't be alarmed, there's only a few of them. It's like, or so it would seem. Behind the archers are, and you see a cavalry? As cavalry comes in with Algier at the head. He's like, come at me, bro! It's like, this should get you through enemy lines. And Huck's like, all this talk about formations and strategies, it's bringing back so many memories of him. But in order for this to work, you see Suan going, but in order for this to work, you need an unbeatable warrior who can hold the line in the center. And Huck's like, there's one right here. It's like, shut up, you idiot! Your advisor Keishuk, General Kyoga is advancing again. The enemy cavalry is being obliterated. And Keishuk's like, King Suan? He's like, huh? It's like, is King Suan here? It's like, that's impossible. His Majesty is at Hiryu Palace. And Keishuk's like, it's like one of his counter strategies. Who gave the order for this? General Kyoga? It's like, it was the Thunder Beast. And Kyoga's like, the Thunder Beast devised the plan and I gave the orders to the infantry. It's like, you exceeded your authority. Advisor Keishuk is our head commander. And Keishuk's like, it was the Thunder Beast plan? It's like, that's right. And even now he's getting injured. He's fighting and shedding his blood for this nation. Never forget what he's done. I'm going back to the battlefield. Oh, sorry, it's Taejun, not Kyoga that was telling him that. He's like, wait, Lord Taejun. Update me on your Central Infantry Squad status. He goes, the central wall is holding strong and is yet to be breached. Thanks to the Thunder Beast, casualties from my squad have been kept to a minimum. And he goes, a warrior you see once in 1,000 years. He goes, send a couple of Sky Tribe soldiers to assist the Thunder Beast. It's like, what? Assist him? It's like, is there a problem? Like, not a problem, but are you asking us to protect the Thunder Beast? Keisha goes, what matters most to me is ensuring that Koka is victorious. Someone who can strategize like King Suan and has the fighting skills of Lord Mundok. No fighting skills that are superior to Lord Mundok's. It would be a shame to let a man like that die here. You see back at Kolbo's camp, he goes, our cavalry squads in the right and left flank are suddenly going down. It's like, how is this happening? My army should have had the advantage. He goes, the Central Infantry, what is Hazara doing? We placed all the troops we had there. It's like, well, there's a shadowy figure covered in blood. It's like a shadowy figure covered in blood? He's defeating our soldiers one by one, as if he's tearing out their souls. It's like, don't be ridiculous, it's only one man. It's like, no, he's not human. And he thinks back to Yona telling him no one can kill Huck. As Kolbo's like, is that the Thunder Beast? Alright, I guess a couple of quick thoughts on this volume before we wrap things up. So I guess the first thing is, I'm glad that Yona is being much more assertive and self-assured with regards to herself. Like, she's not, even though she is kind of like the central, even though she is technically the weakest link within the group, I'm glad that she is, once again, pulling her weight, showing off, her confidence, her self-assuredness. I absolutely love that moment where, Gobi thinks like, oh, she's just a weak little girl. It's like, I'm gonna show her who's the boss. And Yona just fucking kicks him in the face and knocks him down with just like the contemptuous look of like, you thought you were up to my skill level. Love that moment a lot. I love the fact that, she's willing to put herself in danger to try to protect the others and take a stand. So really appreciated those aspects. We'll talk about the other stuff later, but yeah, so trying to think of what I should talk about first before I segue into like the bigger stuff. I guess we'll talk about that the other stuff at the end. But yeah, so apart from that, like since most of this was just kind of setting up the battle between Sen Province and Kai, there's not super much to talk about with regards to the larger plot. But this volume, I think, is kind of cementing the fact that the Kai Empire is being set up to be the ultimate big bad. So I'm gonna have to revisit a lot of the early volumes to see how much the Kai Empire was mentioned, involved, like what kind of information we got regarding their history and stuff like that. But this feels very much like, Kulbo's eventually also going to be flipped to be an ally at some point, and that they're going to all rally together to take on and possibly take over the Kai Empire. So I'm looking forward to learning a little bit more about them specifically, what their whole deal is and all that. But I think the stuff that I'm most interested in is there's two things. So first, of course, is Huck's development, both emotionally and both like as he's stepping into more of the leadership role. But I love the fact that Huck before, because of Suwon's betrayal, he used to tend to be more aloof, more withdrawn from the others, because I know because of Suwon's betrayal, he obviously would have had some trauma relating to trying to, bond or become closer to other people. But I love that we're slowly starting to see him, put his walls down around the others, as he's being more affectionate towards them, as he's being more affirmative of his relationship towards them. So really, really love those touches, as he's finally starting to learn to heal, learn to accept love again. So I really love those aspects of his development. I also love the fact that he's now starting to step more into the leadership role, because again, before, he always kind of just thought of himself as kind of like Yona's bodyguard. That was the role he kind of consigned himself to, like Yona and Suwon's bodyguard. So I love that he's now taking a more active role in leadership, and taking a more active role in the development of the people around him, as he tries to inspire them, uplift them, things like that. So I think that was my so I'm tripping over my tongue. That was my favorite part of this volume for sure. Again, I think I mentioned this in a couple of the last ones. I'm curious how the conflict regarding the dragons is going to be played out. Because like I mentioned, they're basically being treated by WMDs at this point, where everyone kind of wants to get their hands on them, wants to be able to use and abuse their power, basically as a deterrent, and basically to be able to take over the other areas. So I'm hoping this is going to lead to Yona, especially considering, I hope this leads to Yona to start considering what exactly she wants to do and what she wants to achieve, knowing how coveted the dragon's powers are. I wonder if we're heading towards the resolution being a way for her to find out if the dragon's powers can somehow be removed and sent back to heaven again. Because again, we have the mythology behind the whole Dragon King being he came down because he loved humans, blah blah blah, all that. So I hope we get a little bit more development with regards to that, with Yona kind of considering what she wants to do, what her goals want to be, stuff like that. Looking forward to that. We'll see how the rest of this conflict plays out. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the, Yona gets kidnapped, the person's we're going to put her in danger if you don't do what we say. I hope we eventually move past that to a point as we start developing some of those other ideas we tossed out, but you will have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, with all that said, as always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I hope you enjoyed this volume review. Like I mentioned, Akane and Kaiju should be out by now. And I will also get around to another volume of Yona today as well. As always, if you like my content, please do like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, this is Ash. Talk to you all later.